So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. And have I never been so happy to have to only give away one jersey on a podcast as I am tonight. John Duran scoring in Aston Villa's 2-0 win versus Bologna. A cracker. I won't say a cracker of a game, but a really enjoyable game. Aston Villa played some really silky stuff. Just like a grown-up performance tonight. If that's the right term to use, I think it is a grown-up European performance tonight. Just while Paddy's there, forgot to turn that on. I think a night like tonight deserves to have the sign turned on. Paddy's just joined me, so I'm going to pop him up here on the screen. But I was just saying that's a really grown-up performance from Aston Villa tonight. 2-0. Never really in doubt. There was one or two chances that Bologna had, but I have to say, Jesus Christ, Morgan Rogers was outstanding again tonight. And there was quite a lot of Villa players I thought that were really, really good tonight. But yeah, just a really, really enjoyable night to watch a game of football with Aston Villa winning in the Champions League. And we're top of the Champions League. So breathe it in. Best team in Europe.
Well, you just said they're the best team in Europe. I would go as far as saying that is, in my 30-odd years supporting Aston Villa, the most complete performance I've ever seen. It was absolutely incredible from start to finish. The football that was played, the way we just went through the phases, did something different in attack each time. Now, I know a lot of that was that they were very open at the back. I think that right full is still up looking at his own fans, picking his nose up in the corner. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
But take nothing away from that performance, because we'll get to one person in particular later on. But I think for the 10 players that started, nobody deserved to come off. Obviously, substitutions were made, and we'll get to them as well in a while. But the players that started that match just put their hands up and went, we've got 12 players on the bench that can come on. We're playing out of our skins tonight, and they absolutely did. Absolutely did. I've never seen or sat there in such a big tie, a European tie. We've yet to concede a goal, and sat there completely at ease with what I was unfolding in front of my eyes. It was just an absolute joy to watch. I was absolutely raging that I wasn't there. Absolutely raging, because it was just impeccable from start to finish.
Your edge, you were there. I very nearly was there. This is going to come as news to definitely to my better half if she's watching this. But if you would take the kids away for 2 nights, I was hopping on a plane and going to Birmingham and saying nothing. That's all I was going to say. So it didn't turn out happening, and I didn't get to go over to Bologna. But I would have jumped on the plane, hopped over to Birmingham, came back and said nothing. Just played it off as if I was here the whole time. But I didn't need to do that. And Aston Villa still got the job done without me, which is the main thing, I suppose. But you said it there, Paddy, you know. Iron sharpens iron. You know, competition breeds competition. And that bench, like, without having to bring on Digne, Buendia, Mings, you know, like 3 big players that have been big players for us over the last 4 years or so. Last 3 or 4 years or so. Like, that's just huge. And to be able to put it out with, at times, you know, Villa were just, they were making things happen with the ball. That whatever they wanted was coming off, or was near enough to coming off. Okay, we had a couple of chances of goals. Sometimes we were a bit gun shy and we didn't take our shots, but just an incredible performance. And while you're having a sneeze there, I'll put you out of your misery. I'm going to crack a can. I know Paddy normally does it, but I'm going to crack a can. It's only a small can. For that performance tonight, because Aston Villa being top of the Champions League is just incredible stuff. It was at one stage we were joined top of the Champions League
without much gas in it. It didn't sound like there was much gas in it. But
There's enough.
thankfully, there was a
Yes.
lot of gas in our players. And look, you touched on him already. Morgan Rogers is very quickly becoming one of the most improved players in world football. The way those commentators talked about him, the way I looked at Twitter comments from people outside Aston Villa that I follow at half time, they're all suddenly waking up and going, "Who is this guy? Where did he come from?" And he's ready to set the world on fire. And with a little bit more space in the Premier League, he will get lots of chances and he will score lots of goals. And we're seeing players coming back into themselves. JJ coming back into himself. I know he probably should have scored there at the end, but we just we're going to get to it eventually, so we may as well address it. Leon Bailey is not fit, or else he's suffering from a severe lack of confidence. I counted 8 times where the Leon Bailey of last season got in a position where he would have flown by the fullback and just never got going throughout the whole game. He looks like somebody who is injured, who's playing injured. And if that's the case, he needs to take him out of there. Give him the few weeks off. Get Jaden up to speed, because we can't play with passengers. You can't play Champions League football with passengers. Can't play Juventus with passengers. There's just that has to stop. I'm not going to go any further on him. We've watched it now since the Bayern game when he warmed up with a personal trainer. He obviously wasn't right then. I watched it with my own 2 eyes. The personal trainer trained him for the whole warm up. You can't at this level have that. But anyway, I'm not going to go any further on him because he has gone full circle, with me, and he's got cash in the bank now that we do trust him to come back to where he was, but he just does not look fit at the moment.
I think a couple, like we said before the game, the ref was pretty lenient. Like, he gave him 14 fouls in his last Champions League game. I don't know, did he even give 14 fouls tonight? There was a lot of hands, there was a lot of grabbing going on. If you were a big man, I thought it was fine. There was no controversial decision, I think, in the whole game. The only time that the only people who think there was a controversial decision would have been Vincenzo Italiano for the free kick that led to our first goal. He felt that there was a foul, which there clearly wasn't in that. I thought the referee was fine, but he let a lot of stuff go. But he did it for both teams, So, and I think Bailey, there was 1 or 2 instances where Bailey was trying to get around players and just didn't have the physical strength for it. But I agree with you. I think that there's a lack of match fitness there, but maybe Emery's thought processes here play him into match fitness, and we'll see as time goes on. But you mentioned about Morgan Rogers. You mentioned about I thought John McGinn was full of energy again tonight as well, which was good to see, coming back from injury. And there was another person, Paddy. It was great to see him get on the field again. Booba came back, and I don't know, but Booba looks like that new haircut. Booba looks about 12 years older than he is. Like, he looks mid 30s with that haircut. It's fine. It's a lovely haircut. Don't get me wrong, but he just looks a bit older, a bit more mature. It was great to see him get on the pitch tonight as well. Obviously, he gave us the opportunity.
He was gliding around the pitch like his old self. I know it was only a short cameo, but absolutely great to watch. And it was a nice moment. I'm glad Samuel Lilling Jr. got his moment too, because he was clapped onto the pitch by both sets of fans, which is a strange situation and probably something that FIFA or UEFA need to sort out, because that shouldn't really happen. Not that I've got any gripe or complaints about it tonight. He did show one little bit of magic in getting past the player and getting the ball across at one stage, which Diego Carlos cleared out. But it was nice to see him get his moment, and I've no doubt that he could be a valuable player in the future. But Boubacar Kamara coming back in there, it's just we're one step away from when we see Tyrone Mings get on the pitch. I think that will be the final applause. And look, if we can replicate this form against the teams that we should be beating in the Premier League, we are just looking at the possibilities are endless. The possibilities are absolutely endless. Like, I think I don't normally agree with Ali McCoist, but he did say, that He said, "This is amazing to watch." He said, "It was an absolutely enjoyable performance. Anything is possible. I'm not saying they're going to win it," which was his words, but there's no reason why we can't go far in this competition, because you'd have to back our manager to do a job over two legs against most teams in Europe. And I know there's better teams out there than us. I'm not saying we're going to win it. We're miles off being able to win it. But look at what we have to come off the bench and change things. That was just amazing tonight. Absolutely amazing. From start to finish, from the time we saw the team sheet and seeing Tyrone Mings on the bench, I think everybody just got a lift. And it's a lift for the whole club and a lift for every fan that 2 years on under Unai Emery, here we are, top of the Champions League. Now I know that's just, it's
No, well,
it's a joke.
it
It's
is,
joking
just,
at the moment, but we're the only team unbeaten. We're the only team that hasn't conceded that. I think hasn't conceded a goal. It's just amazing.
I still didn't find that statistic about the other three teams, the other two teams that went their first 3 ever games in the new format of the Champions League. That not the new format, but the new Champions League, like post 2000 or 1993 or excuse me, whatever it started. You said that beer wasn't gassy. Jesus, it got gassy all of a sudden there in the middle of me trying to talk. But like the fact that we've 9 points and we're top of the league, and a lot of there's 3 other teams I think that can get to 9 points that are playing tomorrow, as well. But it bodes incredibly well for progression. Whatever about being top of the league or whatever, it bodes incredibly well for progression. Like Dortmund were 2-0 up today. We were joined top of the league. Real come back and score 4 in the second half. I think it ended up 4-2 anyway for a finish. Dortmund must be kicking themselves because they were all over Madrid. Well, not all over them, but they had 2 goals scored and they were playing pretty well. And then they just capitulated in the second half. Villa didn't do that. And I know obviously there's levels between Real Madrid and Bologna, and I don't think even the most ardent Bologna fan will admit that, or will fight with me over that one, should I say. But we've done our business. We've played 3 games. The win against Bayern Munich has opened up all these permutations for us as we go forward and are going into a difficult portion of the season now. We have our 9 points, and arguably I would go so far as to say here now that we are more or less guaranteed to get into a playoff position with 9 points. Like one of the top 16 or whatever it is places, I would say, based on that today, given the games that we have to come, we're going to draw 1 or 2 more games, or we're going to win at least 1 or 2 more games, or we're going to get points, should I say, 1 or 2 more games that we've still have to play. So, the world is our oyster with regards to that. Why not go for an automatic position, Paddy, and go directly straight into the quarters? Why not? Or go directly straight into the round of 16? Why not? That's money in the bank, and that win today wins us what? Another 2.1 million?
Another 3 million,
is it? Something along those lines. Yeah. I think it's a 2.1 million or something like that.
2.1 million pounds. Yeah.
Do you know who we never mentioned, Paddy?
That's the only thing. Pardon?
Do you know who we never mentioned? Ian Maatsen.
Who do we never mention? Maatsen was incredible. Absolutely brilliant.
What pace? Oh my God. Paddy, actually, do you know what? I'm going to change the subject slightly, but because I just mentioned Ian Maatsen's pace, are we 100% sure that Unai Emery doesn't have a dodgy Spanish doctor giving everybody EPO and testosterone within the team? Because the level of improvement in a lot of these players, the level of fitness, the level of stamina, the level of resilience, it's Lance Armstrong-esque. Like when are we going to get this the David Walsh book that says all the boys are sitting down in the dressing room with coat hangers full of blood bags inside in the dressing room? Like it's incredible. I'm obviously joking here. I'm obviously joking for obvious reasons, but it's incredible the levels of performance the Unai Emery is pulling out of these players on a if not a weekly basis, definitely 2 weeks out of 3. And then he brings in players like Ian Maatsen, who've got that ridiculous pace and that ridiculous stamina running down the wing as well. It's just like it's mind. Like I messaged the fella during the game, and he actually sent me on the Champions League table, and Villa were top. And I just messaged him back and I goes, I hope Villa extend Unai Emery for the rest of my natural life. Like I genuinely don't care. Like, just do it. Just find the money from somewhere and just do it. Like he's the performances. But bringing in Ian Maatson anyway, going back to Ian Maatson, Paddy, I thought he was incredible. The pace was just ridiculous. You know, the way they were able to play that ball around Posh and Orsolini, and Maatson was just able to skip past them at times. You know, around the outside, just brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah, he was like he's a completely different player in that he plays in that he gets himself into that inside left channel as opposed to Luca Dean hugging the touchline. So it just gives us something else. And look, he was brave enough to go for it. He's obviously watched that fullback. That fullback has no business being anywhere near a Champions League game unless he's been told to play that way. I just don't get it. And it just left wide open spaces. And I know they were 2-0 down, even at 1-0 down. It's just, you know, it's unbelievable to be sitting here having a conversation about 15 players that have absolutely been, like, every player. Like, I'm not going to go back in on the Bailey debate. I think everybody's in the agreement that he's enough in the bank to be allowed to have it's obviously fitness, but everybody else on the pitch, and another person we haven't really mentioned either, two people, Pau Torres and Yuri Tielemans. Oh my God, how good is Yuri Tielemans? He gets us out of, so like you look like you're going, where's he going to go with this? And all of a sudden he's gone down. He's gone outside a player which he's no right to take on. And then his range of passing, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Pau Torres just looks like he's just dragged out of bed. Someone just brushed his hair from him and put him on the pitch, and he's just ready to go every time. Now, I know he's made mistakes. He made a mistake at the weekend, and that's fair enough. But in general, these guys are absolutely unbelievable. So I don't know how many times I've said unbelievable tonight, and I hope nobody's playing a game that they have to take a swing of their point every time I say it. But
I was thinking about it, but I only a small can.
This performance, I think, will be spoken about for years. And if it's not, there's something wrong. And if it's not, it means we've had better performances than this. And look, we will lose games. You know, we've been incredibly lucky. We've got this run of fixtures that has been. Nobody was expecting us to go and beat Bayern Munich. I think we were a little bit apprehensive tonight, but we got over the line with an unbelievable performance. We've got Bruges next, who had arguably one of their best and most consistent players sent off tonight, so he's missing the next game. So look, we've been really, really good. We've created our own look. All that was missing tonight was maybe another 1 or 2 goals. I would have loved to see JJ get that goal tonight and really top off what was, you know, a top class performance. No goals conceded in 3. We're running out of superlatives for what we've seen tonight. From start to finish, even allowed Unai Emery to have a pop off our set piece coach, which was
I saw
amazing
that, yeah.
to watch, and the camera catching it. You know?
I scolded him like
brilliant.
a bald child.
Yeah.
Sit down. I wonder, and Unai was up for it because, like, he went for Italiano as well. Like, the two of them were having a right old Barney at each other. Excuse me, either side of the technical area. So, look, that's the passion you want to bring. Unai senses, like, Unai's no fool. Like, what I mean by that is, obviously, he's no fool, but he knows what he's dealing with here more than any of the rest of us will. You know, he knows how it's fallen into place. We've been lucky at times, and that's fine. But, you know, good, like, how many times, I always go back to it, how many times were Alex Ferguson's Man United team lucky? You know, you put yourself in positions to be lucky, and Unai Emery is doing that. And tonight didn't come down to luck. Arguably, the Bayern Munich game came down to luck. You know, John McGinn gets too far under that ball or doesn't get under it enough or whatever like that. You know, it was just a goal out of nowhere. We're not taking it away from him, don't get me wrong. But the beauty about this is that the team that's there at the moment is just so composed. It's so it's so plug and play even at the moment. Ross Barkley comes on tonight, gets booked within about 3 minutes of coming on. But some of the passes Ross Barkley pulled out of the bag tonight were absolutely amazing as well. And he comes on for Onana, and like Onana starts the season like a train. He's probably gone out of it a small bit. I think he's another fella who's got niggling injuries. Looked like he came off tonight. Maybe he got a bang into the ribs.
Yeah.
Maybe he had something with his hamstring as well. That's fine. Let him, like the fact that we've got players there that can come in and give him a chance to rest up. The Boubacar Kamaras, move McGinn back into his natural position of being in midfield. Bring on Philogene. Bring on, play Morgan Rogers out on the left-hand side. Bring on Emery Buendia. And the club were probably going to spend maybe something in the off season or the summer transfer window, or whenever, or not summer, the winter transfer window. I would imagine, let's say we bring in another Morgan Rogers type signing out of nowhere for 9 million. You have to be confident with, like, the footballing operation side of things. Just gives me so much confidence in the way that they're able to put a good product on the field, put a good squad together, and bring players in that may not be everybody's first choice, player into the team, and excel from there on with the help of this shady, dodgy doctor. I'm convinced has to be somewhere around Bodymore, somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
Paddy, who would your man of the match have been tonight?
Well, just before we get to the man of the match, I just want to give a huge shout out, and I made a statement sitting on my couch midway through the first half. It says what would make this performance super would be a John McGinn goal. From what that man
goals.
Come when he came to us for £2.5 million, and it was a signing for the championship. He dragged us through so much in those championship years. He dragged us through so much when we were fighting relegation. He led us out in a Champions League game at Villa Park and scores a goal. Fucking topped it off.
What's it about, Paddy? Aston Villa having Scottish captains in the top tier of European football. What's it about? It's just something that's meant to be. It's just something that's meant to be. Who did you think was man of the match?
Torn a little bit. There's many people you could point at. I would pick, just because we're looking at a world beater here potentially within our midst, and I'm going to give it to Morgan Rogers tonight.
Me too. There was a lot of times where I looked at it when I was watching the game, and I was there, I'm going to have to give it to Maatsen. I'm going to have to. But Jesus, there were times there when Morgan Rogers got the ball and he just went, "All right, lads, come on, up on my back here, we're going up the field." And he was carrying it 20, 30 meters up the field, no problem. And of course, I had egg on my face there saying that Rico Fuller was a really good defensive midfielder. He was the most out of position man in the whole field for the whole game today. And namely because of the movement of Tielemans Onana, creating space for Rodgers, McGinn pulling into the middle midfield, bringing Posh in there with him, created that dynamic of Fuller didn't know where to be. And we actually saw that happen quite a bit with when McGinn and Douglas Luiz used to play in that double pivot together at the start of last when Boubacar Kamara was out at the start of when he was out, let's say, last year, until they got it together. And that teams used to do that to drag Dougie out of position, and it left too much work for one man. Urbanski was in there; he's only a 20-year-old kid. Fabian then was put a bit further forward, and we just had that run at the centre of the park. We could play through the middle of the field an awful lot better. And I think I'd give it to Rodgers as well, because there's just something special. There's something great about seeing somebody just glide across the grass over a decent distance and carry the team up the field. I love that. But there's a lot of people you could say were outstanding today, as you mentioned. Pau Torres outstanding, Tielemans, Maatsen, and John McGinn getting his goal as well. We never mentioned John Duran, Paddy. John Duran gets his goal.
Someone else we haven't mentioned who had a really good game is Diego Carlos. So we'll put our hands up and we say, when he's shit, we'll tell him he's had a shit day. And when he's good, he's very good. That ball he played for Morgan Rogers for the goal, where did that come from?
Beaut, wasn't it? A beaut.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That went through the Duran goal, simplistic in an awful lot of
Well,
ways.
that
It's
was
amazing the
it.
amount of time that
That was it.
it's
That
amazing the
pass
amount
that
of
he
times
played
Villa
to
put. Sorry, go on.
that pass that led to the goal. That Carlos pass into Rogers, who got the ball across, and Duran just nipped across his defender like a good striker should, and got the touch on it. The amazing thing about that goal is 60 minutes and 20 seconds, I think I said, this is John McGinn coming off, and this is a sports science substitution coming up here. He didn't get on for another 3 minutes, and in that 3 minutes, the goal is scored. So he was coming off anyway. The triple substitution was coming, but I hope John Duran was caught short, and that's why he had to go down the tunnel after coming off. He did appear back on the bench, thankfully, but small bit of growing up to be done there. If he didn't appear back on the bench, I didn't see him back on the bench. The commentator said he was back on the bench, all right, but
He was, yeah, he was back in the bench. He didn't go down the tunnel. He punched the chair, and then he came back.
He went down the tunnel as well.
He
did go back.
Yeah, but he was back.
He did go back.
He was back in his seat almost.
He sat on the bench and then he went down the tunnel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, delighted for him to get the goal.
I know why he was pissed off.
Go on.
I know he was pissed off because, Big Matthew says here, according to Rio, Duran was annoyed because he went to 10 more minutes to try and score again. No, he was annoyed because he had promised his nephew one of the shirts I was going to give away if he got a hat trick, and I'd be pissed off too if I was him because, look, Premier League footballers can't be expected to buy everyone in their family a shirt. They can't be expected that. But I must say as well, though, that I ordered the third shirt over the weekend. I was actually hoping it would be here today, but it won't. It'll be probably have it for the Bournemouth game. And guess who's in the back of it, Paddy? John Duran, number 9.
Duran?
I got John Duran in the back of it. Yeah. So somebody in Villa Park will be going down through. Another one. What's this lunatic doing? That's the 4th John Duran shirt he's ordered in the space of the last week. What's going on here? This fella's nuts.
So what was the deal? Have you got to give one away here on this show? Is that what we're doing?
I'm giving one away right now.
Before you give one away, no, don't take your time now, right? There's 1,000 people in here tonight. You can't give it away until we have at least 500 likes on this stream. That's the way it works.
All right. Well, do you know what? I'm going to say, yeah.
If you want to win this John Duran short, start liking this.
Yeah, because there's 400 watching on X, and there is X. That's the first time I think I've ever called it X and not Twitter. Why won't this go away? And there's 572 of you. Go on, we'd say 400 likes just to give. If there's 172 of you that are listening to this in the car and can't get your phone out of your pocket or whatever the case is. I don't know, what kind of situation you'd be in that would happen. But
in fairness, the likes are going up and up and up. So keep them coming. Keep them coming.
That's right. I loaded up here anyway. There was an absolute ball of people, I think is the correct phrase. A ball of people responded back to the Twitter thing that I put up. I'll share up the actual tweet itself, just so that you guys can see it. Just for now, why won't that share? Here.
Cat Cannon never likes for some reason. Cat Cannon, what? You're there all the time. You don't like
You're here all the time, is right. You're here all the time. I have no idea why it won't let me share up. I'll have to go for screen 2. No, that's not screen 2. Screen 3. Yeah, I'll have to share my full screen. That's really strange. It won't let me share the window that I used to share previously. Bum. A second now, guys. This is really weird. Yeah. So here we go. This is the actual tweet. This is the tweet I put up there. So all you had to do was like, share, and comment a line emoji under the post. And look, I just put up the home shirt. If you want the away shirt, if you want the third shirt, whichever. But we are going to do that giveaway in a minute. We'll just give it another couple of seconds there in case anybody else wants to get in. So, right, it's 10:25. We're going to begin the draw. So, one winner. There's 627 entries that meet the criteria. 627 entries meet the criteria, and we've only got one winner. I am hoping it's not a bot, or there was a rake of Newcastle fans as well that like this for some inexplicable reason. But I'm hoping that it is a. Sorry, there. I'm going to zoom in here just so that I'm not accused of doing the Father Ted. And if the person gets drawn out, and if it's number 11 and you're holding it upside down, tough shit, and you don't come up like that sketch in Father Ted where Dougal was holding. They had it all set up with number 11 to win the car, and Dougal never came up to claim the prize because he was holding number 11 upside down. Right, here we go. Drum roll, please. Begin the draw. Creating the draw, and the winner is finalized as James Oliver. James Oliver _12 is the winner. If you're watching, get in contact via DM. And that's another thing as well. I'm going to put a proviso on this. Didn't say it in the tweet. I can change the rules if I want. If this isn't claimed by the time we do the preview show on Thursday, just in case, I'm not saying that James Oliver is a bot. I'm not saying that he is. But just in case, Jay, if this isn't claimed by Thursday, I'm going to redraw again. Okay? So, James, you have till Thursday, 9:30, when we'll be doing the preview show to claim your shirt. If not, I want to give away the shirt. Because I had one or two of these previously that I did, and no one ever claimed them. And then I kind of felt bad. I was like, I was supposed to give away a shirt. I remember I did one for a kit bag. And I went, the person that won it never claimed it. And I was like, oh, shit. Should I redraw it again? But I'm going to redraw this again if it's not claimed. So, yeah. James, good man. Get in contact with me. DMs are open. If you can't get in contact with me for DMs for whatever reason, then for the love of Paul McGrath, gmail.com will also get me. And you'll find me there. So, good stuff. John Duran jersey on its way to James Oliver. Just click there to see it's actually real person. Yeah, James is a real person. That's great. Excellent.
Does it look like a Villa fan?
It is a Villa fan. He's got #AFC, #McLaren in his bio, and he follows me, and he's followed me for ages. So fair play. Yeah, James is a real person. Too. That's great. There you go. James is a real person. So I feel kind of bad now putting the Thursday on him. I better put up a tweet now to make sure. This is one of the worst things about me. My vulnerability of wanting to be honourable always gets played on, and I even play upon it myself as well. So well done, James. And I hope you weren't offended by the fact that we thought maybe there might be some bot action in there as well, but that's okay. And he has a Villa tattoo. Someone is saying. Oh no, that's Paluca, is it? Well, I'm lost. I'm looking in the chat there. I was there.
Paluca has a Villa tattoo.
What kind of freaks do we have in our chat that are stalking poor James to find out if he has a Villa tattoo?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. Well, I'm going to leave you with this because I reckon I got 3 hours sleep last night thanks to the steroids I'm on. So I put a tweet out at halftime, and all I wrote was, "This is a fucking joy to watch. Up the fucking Villa." That was before we scored any goal, before anything fucking changed. That was just pure joy from me watching that first half performance, even without a goal. It was fucking magic. Long may it continue. Long may we get performances like this. Long may we be able to come on and talk about an impressive 2-0 victory and not even talk about a shit referee. That is all I want. I want nights like tonight, and I want many of them. Up the fucking Villa.
Excellent. I'm going to end on that as well because I got to go inside. I've got a sick Paddy and I've also got a sick daughter inside who unfortunately took a bit of a turn for the worse when the game started. So I was tending to her for the first 10, 15 minutes of the game. But she's all good. She's asleep. Temperature's down. All's good. And she will live. But I better go back inside and take that baby monitor for the night. So I'm going to leave everybody go. As I say, we've brilliant. This has been a great escapism. Look, watching Aston Villa be absolutely brilliant. We've spoken about dodgy Spanish doctors that potentially are being hidden from view. We've spoken about whether James Oliver is a real person and multitude other things in between. But now we got to get back to real life for the next until we got to go to bed. But we will be back again on Thursday. 9:30 for a preview of the Bournemouth game, and then obviously Team Sheet Tantrum and post-match for Bournemouth again, and then you know what, we do it all over again next week as well. And the way Villa are playing, who knows, you might even get a podcast tomorrow as well. Who knows, whatever way whatever news comes out, we might have something to react to. But thanks very much everybody for joining us. There's like over 1,000 people here tonight, and that's never lost on myself for Paddy. As I say all the time, you know, there's some Irish language programs here that are on a specific Irish channel, the only Irish channel that we have here in Ireland that don't get 1,000 people tune into their to their shows. So you know, incredibly Irish grateful.
Speaking channel.
Irish speaking
people actually
channels,
speaking
yeah.
Irish.
Yeah, people actually speaking Irish. They don't get 1,000 listeners or viewers. So thank you so much. It's not lost on us. And yeah. Really appreciate all the support you guys give us. But see you again really, really soon. Sleep tight. And as he says, we are top of the league. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Oh, you said up. Yeah, you said up the Villa already. I was waiting for you.